happening for Netflix, and they're 4 sort of made-for-TV movies. And I know that they're they've released the information, so I know that we're allowed to talk about it now, but I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about, because they're very protective of it. But I play a sort of very eccentric character in a couple of those episodes. And then also, I'm a transformer bot.
That's so exciting! That's so exciting! It's fun to watch you, obviously, in Doctor Who, and I also watched you in ER, and it's so weird to find that you have things in common with people that you've never met. So I'm a voice actor, and someone mentioned to me earlier that you're a rescue bot.
I'm a rescue bot, yeah, and I have to say, well, my daughter is older now, so it's not something that I necessarily have followed on television. But when I was asked if I would lend my voice to this character, I said, yeah, sure, that would be fine. And I had such fun doing it, and I love the personality and the character that we created. But oh my God, it created such controversy. There was all this sort of chat about there shouldn't be a woman transformer bot, and it's outrageous. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, isn't this a show for kids? Are these kids who are tweeting this? And I realized that actually it's grown men.
Yeah, so immediately you just throw their opinions out the window.
Exactly. I'm like, you know what, men? Grow up and get a life. And she's called Quick Shadow. She's great. I have sort of like a geometric haircut, which I've never had before, because it's curls. I mean, metal geometric haircut, sort of car-y geometric haircut.
Had you done much voice acting or any sort of vocal recording before that?
Not really. I mean, I do the Doctor Who audio stories, which one can purchase, you know, their CDs, and that's really fun, and you're in a proper sound booth and everything. But that's kind of feels slightly different. I'm not quite sure why it feels different. I think we're all together. So we're all in these little glass booths, and we can all see one another, and so it's almost like doing a live reading or something. It's just a performance, and you have cans on, and you can hear everybody else, and you're just basically reading the scripts, and you maybe do another take, but it's different. Whereas with the storybots, I'm by myself, and I'm literally just saying my individual lines. And I repeat them so many times, and then they say, okay, great, moving on.
Choose the take that they like.
Yeah. So it's a sort of different, it's different. It feels, in a weird way, almost like doing ADR. Yeah. ADR is when you have to revoice some of your filming work. If there's like a noise, when they were doing the original film recording, there might be a noise of a helicopter or a car siren or a horn or something, and so you have to revoice it, and you go into a sound studio and you watch your image on a big screen, and there's normally a line that goes through the screen, and then the minute the line meets another, a solid line that's sort of just stationary, you then have to say your line, and you have to kind of absolutely match and sync it with the lips, your lips that are moving on the screen. Sorry, I'm getting very technical. Technical beginning to the day.
No, it's interesting to hear it, because that's what I do primarily as an anime voice actor, is dub things.
Yeah.
So the idea of ADR, I understand perfectly.
Yeah. Anyway.
Part of Doctor Who.
My favourite part of Doctor Who, well, I don't think I have a favourite. There's so many favourites, really. I like deciding with. What was that?
I don't know. She ran away.
Oh, come back, Sienna. Where have you gone? Come back here.
She was up on the screen for a second.
I'm giving you. Oh, there you are. I have lots of favourites. There's still a
favorite episode or?
Your favorite doctor.
Okay, there we go. Let's narrow it down.
Oh, my favorite part of the Doctor?
Sienna, my goodness, it is 11:30 in the morning.
My favorite part of the Doctor? Just my favorite Doctor.
Just your favorite doctor.
Oh, well, okay, that's much easier to answer. Because they're all the same man. So, my favorite regeneration. Well, they are all the same man, but there's different, I feel like it's the same, well, he's not a man, is he? He's a Gallifreyan.
Let's get technical.
Let's get technical. But he shows, with every regeneration, it's like he shows a different element of himself, or a different aspect of himself. That's how I kind of get over the fact that it's a different guy every time. And so I think that, I mean, in all honesty, the Doctor so far, who I've worked the most with, was Matt Smith. And so I was incredibly comfortable working with him. I love David, and in fact I've only seen David since I worked with him on the show. The only time I've actually seen him since then was at a convention, just recently. So we're not as close as I am with Matt. And Peter Capaldi is fantastic, and I loved working with him, really.
Had you worked with him before?
No,
I
haven't. I mean, I'm obviously I knew his work, and I admire him enormously as an actor. So I was very excited to work with him, but I had never worked with him before. So I mean, in all honesty, I would probably say Matt Smith, and I did invite him to my wedding. So
I invited him to mine too, and he just didn't come. So rude.
Wedding of Riversong.
exactly.
You're quick, Sienna.
Okay, now you can go back to your seat.
You're cute, kid. We're done. Not quite as small as Sienna, are you? What's your question?
I was wondering how much of Riversong's character is like in you? How much of you do you put into the character?
I've just seen a man, five people behind you in a pair of speedos. Speedos and plungers.
This is Florida.
I am so gonna have to take a selfie with you. Sorry, to get back to your very interesting question. I think I just answered it, actually. How much of me is in Riversong? It's not intentional. I don't intentionally think when I'm embarking on a new character that they're not putting themselves into their character, because you kind of want to believe that you are super versatile as an actor. But I think inevitably there's always a little bit of your personality that does seep into the character. I am, believe it or not, quite shy. So in a funny sort of way, River allows me to kind of be a little less shy. Quite a lot less shy, to be honest. I suppose I like to have fun. I can be a little bit naughty. And so those things are part of River for sure. But yeah, so I don't really know. I mean, I don't know what it is I do that creates this role. I just respond to the dialogue, really. Thank God. I just played Lady M in Shakespeare's Scottish play, and so I guess there was a little bit of me in that too.
Terrifying to think,
Terrifying,
right?
yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Ken. I've been a big fan of yours for many years. What I was wondering is are you more recognized, aside from conventions like this, are you more recognized for your work on Doctor Who or your work on ER?
I think it's probably, it just goes with the time. The time that one is visible seems to then be the moment that one is associated with. So when I was doing ER, I would get stopped all the time. Oh my God, Dr. Corday, Dr. Corday. And that's now eased off really. And I get much more attention now for being part of Doctor Who. I think the truth is, the fan base for any kind of fantasy, sci-fi show is so enormous, and it's such an incredible community, which is why there are conventions. I mean, you don't have procedural conventions, hospital show conventions. But you don't, I mean, it's just, you know, it's the sci-fi fantasy genre is so beloved by so many people worldwide that I actually think that even if I were no longer doing Doctor Who, there would still be that incredible recognition because people don't let go. They're so amazingly loyal, which is fantastic.
Do you find that you're recognized or noticed more here or in the UK, like just out and about?
Well, no. I mean, what I try and do when I go out is I mean, this is sort of actually the downside of being recognised for a role you're playing, because when I started out and I was a theatre actor doing my job, part of being an actor very often is that you people watch. And it's that people watching that actually sort of then it's something you don't even realise you're doing it, but you bank things. You bank things that you've noticed in terms of the way a person might move or just how they're responding, how they're talking, whatever. And those are all things that then eventually one might use when one comes to creating a character. And when you're visible, you can't do that anymore. Because, you know, if you're making eye contact and somebody notices you, then it sort of gets very difficult. So in a way, it's just one can't do that people watching thing anymore like I used to. So I deliberately don't make eye contact when I'm in the street or anything, and it'll be my friends or my husband or whatever, they all notice that if I've walked past, the people then go, oh my God, oh my God. Well, I don't see it, but my daughter does or my family do. So, oh God, I've forgotten now what the bloody question was. I just talk.
Are you more recognized in the UK?
Well, I answered that. I think we done that part.
My bad. I threw in a tag question.
Sit down. Sit down, you're done.
Thank you so much.
I want those men in Speedos.
Okay, lightning round, go.
Hi. So I'm really excited to hear that you're going to be in Gilmore Girls. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like on set?
I was doing ER when they were filming the original Gilmore Girls, because we shot it all, we shot ER, even though it was set in Chicago, we filmed it in Warner Brothers in Los Angeles, and we just went to Chicago 4 times a year to do all the exterior things, so it was sort of seasonal, spring, summer, autumn, winter. And Gilmore Girls was also filmed on the Warner Brothers lot, so that literally was happening while we were there. It was so funny for them to sort of reboot it again, and Alexis, ooh, I shouldn't really say that, but she's all grown up. It's amazing. She's got a baby, and it's you know, and I remember when she was so young. It was great. We actually didn't film it on Warner Brothers lot, my scenes. We were on location, which was nice, and that's all I'm good to say.
Thank you. I'm so excited to see it.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
My name is Zoe, and I was wondering if you have like a favorite TARDIS control room.
If I have a favourite TARDIS control room, do you know, I do. I like the current one. I like Peter Capaldi's TARDIS control room. It's so much fun. I mean, everything works. Every button, every knob, every wheel, they all work. And so, it's so great. When you go on and you're waiting to do the scene and rehearse, I cannot stop playing with those buttons and knobs and whatever. I'm just like constantly doing it. And the really great thing is because I've been on the show, or I was on the show before Peter Capaldi, he can't tell me how to fly it. He really can't, no. So I can do all of this, and I'm like, I know what I'm doing. People, nope, I know what I'm doing. So it's fantastic, but his is the best.
Thank you, Zoe.
Do you know how to reply?
Hi, so Doctor Who, when your character first regenerates into this your form,
Yes.
and she's admiring various aspects of her body, like the hair and the butt. My question is, was that just the writers, or did you make suggestions to them about what your best assets were?
I'm not sure I'd necessarily call them my assets. That's the thing. I can't stand my butt. I think it's a massive great thing. No, that was Stephen Moffat. Oh my God. So yes,
He's apparently a great admirer of your assets.
I guess he likes girls with curves. I don't know. Yeah, I just had to go for it. I mean, his scripts, when I get his scripts, they are, absolutely perfectly formed. Nothing really ever gets changed, or very little. It doesn't need to, because they're just so brilliantly conceived. So you just have to go for it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here they are.
Here they are.
Riversong, we have finally found you, and we exterminate you.
Oh, you are not going to exterminate me. You're coming on the stage right now. Actually have a question. You're very welcome. I'm posting that, I'm telling you.
Okay, so we have just a little bit under 10 minutes, so let's we're gonna sort of do lightning round, ask you a question and you answer as fast as we can. So there's a lot of y'all.
Basically, speed up, Alex.
No.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Jonathan.
Oh, so smart. It's my husband's name.
I love that name.
Me too.
First of all, I've been watching Doctor Who for a few months now, and trust me, it's an addiction.
Oh, yes, I know.
My question is, Daleks or Cybermen?
Cybermen, every time. Sorry, boys. Cybermen.
They're gonna come back tomorrow with tinfoil Cybermen costumes.
Oh, yes.
Great.
Aluminum speedos.
Okay, in the episode where Mel converts into Riversong, River kisses the doctor with poison and he starts to die. And then she has a change of mind and she decides to save him. So she uses all her regenerations to do it. How do you feel about the fact that at the end of Matt Smith, they had to use the Time Lords to save him, since he should have had extra regenerations from River.
Heavy.
Yes, that's a very interesting question. I think I've got to go back to Stephen Moffat on that and ask him. Is it anything to do with the fact that, is he a Tesselector at that point?
No, he's still like himself, and then you poison him with the, like I said, you couldn't kill him with a gun. You're going to kill him with poison.
Yes, and then I give him all my regenerative powers to bring him back. And then what?
But then at the end of Matt Smith's last episode, he has to have the Time Lord save him, which he shouldn't have because he should have had the extra regenerations from you.
Exactly! Yes, absolutely! I'm definitely going to go back to Stephen Moffat and ask him that question.
We want to.
Yes, I will. Thanks. Thank you. Hello.
I just wanted to ask how you felt after working with Matt Smith for so long, seeing him leave and not come back.
Oh, that was so sad. That was so upsetting. I mean, the last time I worked with Matt, I really didn't know whether I was going to come back or not. I mean, to be honest, I never do. I mean, after all, I did die in the first 2 episodes. So, so every time I come back, it's lovely and I really enjoy it, but I then never have expectations that I'm going to come back, but at the same time, I'm never told I'm not coming back. So it's always sort of living in limbo and getting on with my life. But that moment where I had to say goodbye to Matt's character, it was so hard for me because, and he was cross. We had to do that scene. Literally, we had about 3 minutes to do the take because they'd spent so much time doing all the special effects and the actual acting is always left to the last moment. And so I literally had to do my goodbye scene in 1 take. And Matt was really cross about that because they hadn't given us any time to sort of explore, and I was like this, trying to hold it together. But it was very, very sad, very sad. But I see him socially, so we're kind of mates, so that's nice.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank
question.
you.
How about this little guy behind you?
In the full season of Doctor Who, what was your favorite episode?
Do you mean the first season that she was in?
Yes.
The first season that I was in, what was my favourite episode?
Yes.
The Silence in the Library, of course.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Hi, how did you get a role in Doctor Who?
I was very lucky. I was just asked. I didn't have to audition. Wow. I was actually asked to do an episode prior to The Silence in the Library, where it was the episode with the adipose and is it Mother? Was the woman called the Mother? Mother. I was asked to play that, and I couldn't. Thank God. I was working. I was doing something else, so I had to turn it down. And then they came with this, the character of Riversong, and they said, can you read this and let us know whether you'd be interested in playing her? And so I read the 2 episodes and burst into tears at the end, and that was the reason where I thought, okay, I'm having such a strong reaction to reading this episode, I therefore have to play this part. So I did. Here I am. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Irina, and I just wanted to ask, in your whole acting career, what was the craziest stunt, if you did have to do any stunts?
Stunt. Actually, probably, weirdly, I mean, I've done a lot of different roles, but I haven't really done that many stunts. And I'd say the most fun, amazing. as the Doctor. He knew his lines. He was word perfect. He never ever messed up. He was absolutely on point the whole time. Peter Capaldi was at the end of the season. We did the Christmas special at the end of the season, and he'd worked a full season, and it's very hard for any actor who plays the Doctor. They really get burnt out because they are worked incredibly hard. So he was exhausted, but we had a lot of fun, and he was very happy to do comedy. But he needed to have quite a few takes sometimes to sort of, because he couldn't quite remember his lines, but that was because he was exhausted. Matt Smith, on the other hand, he's a naughty boy. And I call the Matt Smith years the rock and roll years. Doctor Who, the rock and roll years. Because he would do a full day's work, and then he'd just go out and party, and do all sorts of things. And then he'd come in all like this, bleary-eyed, and Karen, oh my God, Karen Gillan, oh, the three of them, my parents and Matt, were so naughty. I was like the school teacher going, what time do you call this, you know? So yes, he was the naughtiest, for sure. The most difficult to work with. The most challenging, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Lucas, and I just want to know, this is kind of related to his question, but who is your favorite Doctor?
Oh, I think I was asked that earlier.
Yeah, that was the first question.
Yeah.
Oh, Sienna back there, she's waving. Like, it was me.
Yes, that was the first question. Were you not listening?
Sienna.
You were too busy adjusting your fez, weren't you? Who's your favourite?
It's a tie between Matt Smith and David Tennant.
Uh-huh. Well, you just have to turn around and go to Sienna. She's right behind you, and she'll tell you what I said.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Who's your least favorite Doctor?
Ever? Did you watch the show when you were younger?
How can I have a least favourite when they're all the same man? I don't have a least favourite. They're all the same man. So I could never, no, not even an aspect, except maybe when Matt Smith's Doctor comes to work all bleary-eyed, and yes. But in all honesty, I don't have a least favourite. They're all amazing. Do you have a least favourite? No, see? And I said, why did you ask the question? Honestly.
Are you our last question? Wow, well thank you so much. And thanks to all of you for spending time with us. Thank you, Alex, for graciously being here. And we have to head out, but if you would like to meet Alex and get an autograph, she'll be at her table in the hall.